Okay, guys, so welcome along mentorship session tonight. It is Wednesday, the 6th of September, 2023. To be honest, this week has been, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't know how you've got on this week with results, with trades, with profits, things like that. For me personally, based on the few pairs that I trade, it's been rubbish. Okay, the markets have been really slow, really groggy. Mainly because when I was looking up, we were in here from the start of the week. So this is the start of the week. We were kind of doing this. And then only today, when we had this high impact news, did we start to move down. So we've kind of spent the whole time in consolidation on the pairs that I like to trade. And anything I was looking at was never hitting me into entry. So I was looking for an entry at this candle here, for example, on EU, didn't hit. I was looking for an entry around this imbalance, didn't hit. I was contemplating an entry here. I didn't actually take this entry, but I was thinking about I wanted this 15-minute to break a little bit lower and then come back into this order block, which it clearly did. Instead of breaking structure nicely to the downside, breaking below these wicks, as you can see, price just came into that order block. We spoke about this during the New York session about taking it, but I said I wanted to be a bit more clear on whether or not we were going to break below this level here. Otherwise, it could have just consolidated and gone higher. But I mean, my God, what a trade that would have been. So I'll go over these trades, I'll go over these setups, but essentially, I think the reason you get not as much volatility in weeks like this is because the week after NFP, coming into a Monday where there's a bank holiday in the US, essentially yesterday, which was Tuesday, was kind of like the Monday for US traders, institutions, banks, interbank level traders, that kind of thing. So because of that, you're always going to be getting a slow start to the week and not a lot of movement. Now, on top of things like that, we didn't really have too much news yesterday. In fact, we didn't really have any. And today we only had this news here. And this was really the first start of the week, the first piece of news for the whole week. So with that in mind, we've been waiting a long time. It's coming up to the middle of the week, and we're waiting for our first piece of news to try and move price in a certain direction. So a lot of consolidation was happening before that. Now, looking ahead to tomorrow, I would like it to improve. Obviously, it doesn't have to, but I would like it to improve. Obviously, now we're looking at this kind of thing here, and we like to use news events to essentially try and predict volatility in the markets. Only a certain amount of news events I would actually avoid trading, which is CPI and NFP. FOMC as well is one to kind of avoid, but anything else with red folders is pretty cool to trade. I mean, even on Friday, looking ahead here, there's not really a lot going on. But anyway, let's see really what kind of happened. So I went on the DXY at the start of the week and I spoke to you about essentially hitting this buy side liquidity, which we clearly did. We said that was obviously done. Now, today we have cleared out the rest. What I think we're doing is creating this imbalance right here. So it's my feeling and understanding that we're probably going to come into this imbalance tomorrow, or hopefully tomorrow, taking out the sell side liquidity, which is the daily low. Once we do that, I believe we're going to head towards this volume imbalance. Now, if we can get to that imbalance and then push even higher, I'd like to see us push towards these highs right here. Now, with a very bullish dollar, that means we're looking to go pretty bearish on EU. Now, if I kind of just delete everything, what I was looking at, again, I noticed that we had these highs right here taken. We obviously had the sell side liquidity to target, and we've still got more sell side liquidity to target down here. So there's plenty of reason for this thing to carry on moving lower. Now, the fact that we ended up taking this liquidity here, breaking to the downside, we came into this area here, into this 4 hour, and we broke aggressively to the downside. Now, if you're wondering why did it not come as high as this imbalance? Now, it doesn't have to. Okay, there's such thing here called a PD array. Now, when you're looking at PD arrays and you're looking at liquidity voids and things like that, when you look at the expansion down, it needs to mitigate into something. Okay, now what have we got in here that it could mitigate into? We've got the order block, which is this institutional candle here, which it could mitigate into. We've got the imbalance, which it could mitigate into. We've got the inverse imbalance, which was created here, which it could mitigate into if it wanted to. And we've also got this breaker block area right here, which you can see it ended up mitigating into quite nicely. So with that in mind, that was one of the areas we could potentially be looking at to see if price is going to respect and then carry on moving lower. If we could get smaller time frame distribution coming lower, I would be looking to sell this on the basis that the DXY is bullish, which means the euro can be bearish. We've got 4-hour confirmation. We've got daily confirmation of these liquidity highs and a draw on liquidity to the downside. So we just need to see if there's anything happening in here that we can potentially pinpoint ourselves onto. And what I come to was an amazing looking order block right here. Now that order block on its own is enough for me to take an entry off of. We swept liquidity, which means that order block is an FU candle. An FU candle is a candle which sweats the liquidity. That was what was responsible for hitting into this breaker block area. And then price aggressively broke down. Now this is a trade you can take all day long. And I had this set ready to go. Stop loss was here. Target was, it was one target down here. There was another target a little bit lower. But anyway, you can see here, price coming in. If we get the OTE levels, we can see, where are we in here? We didn't quite come to the OTE levels, but if we use the bodies of the candles, we can see we're well within our discount area. You could have set in here, but looking at the size of this candle, the healthy nature of the fact that we took this liquidity, we've also got a lovely piece of imbalance in here as well. There's just so much reason for this to happen. So in all honesty, and I get a lot of questions. A lot of people say to me, yeah, but Tom, you trade a lot on the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3 minute time frames. How can I do it when I'm at work? And that's a great question, because one of the ways I trade is on the smaller time frames. Yes, absolutely. I only grew into that when I was working from home, when I was able to trade full time. When you're at work, you're looking to get funded, you're looking to get out of that 9 to 5. Trading on higher time frames generally is the best way to go, because you can set this here. So I think this was set the night before. So look, 11 o'clock at night, UK time, which is probably about dinner time, New York time. You can be looking at this and think, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to set that. And the next day you could get up and see where your trade is. You could go to work, not worry about it. You've set a trade. You've got a stop loss in place with whatever risk you've got. You've got your target. You just have to understand that you might come back to profits. You might come back to a small loss. And that's that. That is literally what it is. And I was hoping price was going to come up here. Never did. Okay, never did. And that's fine, because when price essentially broke lower, okay, we consolidated in this area here, and then essentially price broke even lower. So I was looking for price to come back into this imbalance. Let me just turn that box plain. Now, when price comes into this area here, all I need to do is measure my fib levels. Now, for anyone asking and wondering, why am I measuring here at this part of the range to this part of the range instead of bringing my fib levels to the top of the range? The reason is very simple. Okay, it doesn't really change a lot, and in this instance, nothing actually happened, but I'm just going to kind of give you the hindsight reason behind it. So that's our kill zone based from this top part of the range. I measure it from here. I measured it from here in this instance, which basically meant this area to this area. So that's the kill zone. Now, this is the energetic move down, which left this imbalance behind. Everything that's happening here is consolidation, which is being formed inside this 1 hour imbalance right here. If structure is going to work the way I want it to, and the way it should work, we shouldn't actually come any higher than this candle right here, because this is the move which is in drawdown, because this has created the imbalance. There are orders left in here. There shouldn't be any orders here apart from obvious liquidity above these highs and imbalance which has been left unopened. So where I actually, again, I set an entry was at the 78%, and that is only because it was a level inside the imbalance. Stop loss was there, plus a few pips just for spread and things like that. And I was looking just to take price as a 1 to 3 and see if I can hold it. Now, again, what can we see? Didn't happen. Okay, price did not come and get me. So again, there wasn't really anything going on. Now, just seeing a few questions here. Harry has asked, is it best to use fib on clear swings? Yeah, definitely. Like the fib, like this is a fib level entry, an OTE entry. So it's really, really good entry. And look, we're bearish overall. And it eliminates all the stress of being on the smaller time frames. I'm only on the smaller time frames for a very short period of time in the day. But when I'm analyzing the charts and things like that, it's all about time and price. So if this comes in an Asian session, I'm not going to be setting this. But if it happens at the peak of London session and the peak of New York session, I'm going to be setting this as an order. Ideally New York session, but that's not to say I wouldn't in London session, because you absolutely can. Now moving on to GU, let me just kind of delete all of this and we'll do the whole thing again, because similar thing happened. So GU broke down. Okay, nice aggressive move to the downside. What have we done? We've reacted inside this breaker area here. Now, again, when price breaks down like that, giving us a nice big push, you've got a couple of things you could potentially be looking at. You've firstly got the order block. You've also got the imbalance, which we're obviously inside anyway. And then you've got the breaker block. So just by eyeballing it, which makes this less probable, I can see, well, actually we are. So to the body, we are inside the discount area, but to the wicks, we're not quite in discount area. So it really depends on which way you measured it. But if I look at the overall imbalance, we did come into the premium level. So with that in mind, we're looking at this breaker block and this imbalance. We can see prices come into it, a little bit of consolidation, and then a break to the downside, aggressive break to the downside. Now, when you can kind of see what's going on in here, there's a couple of things you can be looking for in a 1 hour time frame. And what I was looking for was firstly to see if price could come up to this level here. And you can clearly see that never happened. So again, you could be setting an entry in here. And that's absolutely fine. You know, you can set that entry in there. You can have your stop loss above here. All is well, all is rosy. Now you can see price action's kind of stalling at this point. There's not really a lot going on. Now, when price action pushes higher, sweeping liquidity, because everything is all about time and price. And this was London session. So London session pushed higher, came above that liquidity. If I just turn on the session indicators, if it ever loads, here we go. So look, London session took out the New York PM session liquidity, and the Asian range liquidity started breaking lower. What I was looking for in here, I was looking to see, because on an intraday level, if London session is going to break, if it's going to be volatile, we could see what could potentially happen to see if price could come up to here and then break lower again. But because of the nature of what we were doing, we were inside this imbalance. We already broke to the downside. We broke above here, and then we started breaking a little bit lower. Now, I was looking, firstly, to see what was going to happen at this imbalance. So before all of this happened here, what I noticed was this imbalance. Okay. Now, with that imbalance, one or two things are going to happen. You're either going to come back down and you're going to come up to this area here, and then we're going to get our required move to the downside, or we're going to violate this area here and turn it into an inverse. And it was an interesting spot because we took this draw on liquidity right here. Now, as you can see, price action did violate this area completely. So that now is an inverse fair value gap. Okay. So with that in mind, we were playing around in there. We started to return into it, and then you can see clearly here that we dropped lower. I'm not looking to take an entry off of here because there's every likelihood, especially with the fact that we didn't really break structure, but we did come into this inverse. I was looking to see if we were going to come in to this area and then break structure on a lower time frame, which I could then take advantage of in there. So basically, because we're not in an optimal area, because we're not up here, so I would set, what I'm trying to say is I would set this order without fear. Quite happily set this order because it's a deep premium area. It's very, very bearish, in line with the higher time frames, in line with the DXY, EU, AU, all that good stuff. When you're in here, I could see the inverse. I saw that we were reacting to the downside. I wanted to wait for extra evidence, which led me towards the 15-minute time frame. So in the 15-minute time frame, it was this area here I was actually looking at. So if I jump here. So in the fifth, and we were literally live in New York session. I don't know if anyone was here during New York session who can remember this conversation, but I literally said to everyone, look at that lovely break. Look at that order block right there. Okay. And let's just see if we can. I said, the only thing I'm waiting for, I said, I'm going to send this into the Discord for the premium members. Once this here breaks below all of this structure right here. So I wanted to wait for a break of structure. And then the entry would have been right here, stop loss here or here, wherever you wanted. And the target was down here somewhere. I'll get to that. But sod's law, this happened. Look at that. So we didn't break structure. We came into the order block and we just dumped. So really, really crap price action in the end. I think you could have got about a 7-1. But for me, in my rules, the way I trade, that was not enough evidence for me to enter that particular trade. Someone could have taken that today and passed their funded challenge, and that's great. But you also could have taken that trade today and you could have violated the funded challenge. I want to wait for clear pieces of structure. I wanted to wait for an obvious break to the downside. We didn't get that. However, the trade played out beautifully, and that's just the luck of the draw. Now, there was a re-entry in here, but I wasn't actually at the charts at this particular point. But look at this, okay? 15-minute, and this is your re-entry straight off that imbalance. And I do this on the 2-minute time frames, the 1-minute time frames, but you could have been looking in there. You could have took that trade off the 15-minute time frame. You could have potentially, even then, not really. I mean, I'm just looking to see if there was a smaller time frame, and even then, there really wasn't. Okay, so it would have been the 15-minute or the 5-minute maybe. See if we could come back into there. So GU was the nicest price action today. In my opinion, it was just a shame I couldn't actually grasp an entry, because we didn't just, if this had closed a little bit lower, I would have taken that literally all day long. Would you set an entry inside the breaker block? So I usually like to wait for extra evidence. I like to, when I'm setting entries, I do it off of imbalances or fair value gaps, or order blocks, or if they're, or usually I like to do it in the kill zones. So the 71 level, the 78 level, something like that. Did you take it? No, John. So I didn't take it. I wanted to wait for this extra evidence. It didn't give it to me, but it's just another bit of proof that the concept works. We do come into these breaker blocks, and I did talk about the 5-minute and the fact that we did break lower, and it actually played off the breaker block area right there inside the imbalance, but I just wanted it to, come a little bit lower. NAS was a car crash today, if I'm being honest. I didn't enjoy it. I don't know if anyone here has traded NAS today or S&P or anything like that, but essentially the way I was kind of looking at it was that I wanted price to come into here. Now, great news is, and this is the better news than actually taking the trade and winning the trade, is that the analysis was correct. Okay, you can go on the Discord, you can see we wanted lower price action, we wanted price to come in here. That was what we were favoring. Same here on US 400. Okay, so that was all well and good. The only issue I had is that we were inside all of this consolidation. Okay, and I don't like being inside of this consolidation. I want price to come out of it and actually escape it. So if we look at kind of what happened, we can see here that that line there signifies the New York midnight opening price, which is what the algorithm works to. And then we wanted price to come, if we were going to sell, we wanted price to come back up to this area and then break down. Now, you can clearly see here, we came into this 1 hour candle in a retracement in a bearish area, and we were targeting that imbalance down here. Now, if you'd have set this straight away off this area here, you could have been very profitable today, but that would have been right at the peak of news and things like that. So it wouldn't have been the most obvious thing to do. What I was looking for, okay, because again, I saw that we essentially came into New York session. This was the draw on liquidity. So we broke above all that liquidity right there. Price action drops. And then we leave this huge almighty piece of imbalance. I was literally just looking in here to see if price was going to drop even lower. Now, price action did. Okay, it did drop when we got into there. So the only thing I could really find when price action, because look at this, price action came in, nothing to really enter off of. Price action came in, nothing to really enter off of. When price aggressively pushed up and then started breaking down, it left this imbalance. So the entry, I've just clicked on the wrong bloody thing here. Click off that. So the entry was right here. And this isn't a very nice entry, by the way, guys. This is a rubbish entry because you've not really got any, like the imbalance is right there. There's just nothing really to go by. So you could be setting it for a 1 to 3. I did take this, by the way. I did take this. And we came in, okay, price had to endure a bit of drawdown. Price eventually came a little bit lower. I did just go to break even. And as you can see, if we clear along, I did just get taken out again at break even. And that was my only piece of action today. Okay, and that was based on 5 minute, came back into the 5 minute, bearish into that imbalance. I wanted to just get a 1 to 3, see if it would sneak into that daily. This is the daily imbalance. So if it could sneak into there, and I was a bit conservative, which is actually quite good because I would have been stopped out had I have put my stop loss here. But I just thought because if the imbalance was up here, I would have been okay. But I had it right here, and I just came out at break even. Okay, I just put out break even. So yeah, that was that. Okay, that was that. There wasn't really a lot else today, if I'm being completely honest. Did you get that 4 hour on gold? No, I didn't. Did I take that? I don't think I took that. Where is it? I don't think that played out very well in the end. So yeah, so if you did take it, you'd be in drawdown right about now. So if your stop loss was there, you'd be okay at the moment, or spread might have caught you out, or you could be getting taken out the market here. So yeah, maybe that trade didn't quite work out. And that's okay. Doesn't have to. I think overall this could still go high, you know. I think this could still go higher just looking at it, because look at this. We're in this weekly imbalance. Okay. And the daily has kind of broken above all this crap. We're at this daily order block. The 4 hour has been pretty high. I mean, maybe we come lower down to here. Okay, maybe we come lower down to here, under there, and then push higher. I mean, I like the fact that we did come into there and then break down. So actually, that is a nice... So get rid of this here, because this is actually a really nice order block it's left. Look at that. So now, where we were looking to buy, maybe we could get some sells. So tomorrow morning, so for London session, if you come into here, and this is like your Asian session, and then we've done something like that, maybe on a 5 minute time frame, you know, that could be your setup. So yeah. And I've been looking at AU lately. I want to try and trade this more, because essentially this does correlate with the DXY and things like that. But look here, we reacted in that imbalance, which is obviously part of this larger imbalance. If I measure this imbalance right here, you can see here we're in the premium levels. We didn't quite come up as high as this. Not a lot happening. I want to see if we can just break lower at the moment. I do like this 15-minute expansion to the downside. So let's see where we are with that tomorrow. But overall, what I'm looking to do, I mean, look, I've tried 2 entries on here. I couldn't get any of them. And this is on higher time frames. What I would like to, and I've not got any entries set. So this is the situation. Okay, this is the situation. This kill zone doesn't exist anymore. What I would like to see happen tomorrow is price action manipulate its way back up and then give us that 15-minute entry, because we would get another crack at the whip, but also we would take out all of this liquidity. So that would be really good if that could happen tomorrow. If we could come all the way back up to our 1 hour area, then fine. So maybe we come up to here and then do it. That's fine. But I don't think we will, just based on news and things like that. I can't really see it. But yeah, look, that is everything for today. Like, I'm not like I'm done talking, but like, I mean, everything in terms of what I was looking at on the charts today. That these are the areas I've been looking at, and for me, like today was just sloppy. I don't know how, guys, if in the chat, how has everyone else got on with today? Have you found it? Have you found it sloppy as well, especially on indices, or have you found the indices worked really, really well? Like I said, I think the perfect thing for me, and I always do this, I always rate myself with this, is that as long as I get my bias correct, it's a win. And I did favor lower price action. Okay, I did favor lower price action. And the only thing I was looking at was obviously nice big push down, see if we could get a smaller time frame and then push in. Haven't found anything this week. That's fine though, John, because it's just been a slow week. It's just you get these weeks. London session today on S&P was painful. So look, I think I was on London here. I was looking at this. Where were we? I mean, yeah. See, the issue I have with London session here, there's your opening price. There's no liquidity draw. There's no liquidity draw. So what I would say, if you don't see an obvious liquidity draw, because this was the draw on liquidity right here. New York session didn't really even draw on liquidity. It just kind of popped into that. And that was the 5-minute area I was looking at on there. And I don't really think anything happened on there either. No, look, even there, like that 3-minute entry would have been perfect. Didn't even hit him. But no, look, yeah, looking at London session for here earlier, like there was just nothing. And usually that happens when we're consolidating for the week. It kind of continues. But look, the good thing is now, if we just delete everything, we've got an area to work with. Okay, look, we've got a daily area now. So tomorrow, I would like to see price go higher from here. Now it can come lower, and we'll obviously analyze that tomorrow if it wants to or not. But I'd like to see it push higher if we can. I'd like to see it come a little bit lower at the start of the day, take out this liquidity which is being created now, or come back under here, and then eventually push higher inside of our imbalance. If we can turn this into an inverse, that'd be something to definitely keep an eye on. And that's the good thing. I mean, even looking at this as well, look, we've got a bit more to work with. So I would like tomorrow with NAS, I'd like it to come lower, maybe at least come to 50%. So if we highlight 50%, which is here. Okay, I'm just going to type that. Okay, so what is here? This is the thing. Now we go down the time frame, we observe it. What is there that we could potentially hope to see if price wants to go into? A smaller 1 hour imbalance? Nothing really. It's just imbalance. So this is where we really just dig deep. I think maybe that 15-minute imbalance looks the most likely if we could come that low. But to be honest, not even an order block or anything. So yeah, see what happens when price gets there, of course. But yeah, you're right. It was a bit painful today. So guys, any questions? I mean, let me know in the chat. How are you getting on with your trading? Have you got any questions about trading? Have you got any questions about funded accounts? Have you got any questions about anything? Anything in the world? If you got any questions about literally anything you want to ask me, okay? Because this is, for me to make sure I can help you. Can you look at SP 500 yesterday? Yeah. The AM session. So again, yesterday was rubbish because where are we? AM session today. Yeah, yesterday just took both sides. So look, liquidity. The thing is, look, London session just created. We had all this liquidity here. I'd say the entry was probably in here somewhere because look, price pushes higher. Price comes back down into this imbalance. But overall, this is the thing. You've got a really nice entry in here. However, we're in a bearish time. We're in a bearish chart. But look at that 1 minute entry right there. But it's bearish overall. So, I mean, that would have been a nice entry just to take to that high. But overall, I was bearish on the day. So I wanted price to come lower. You want to talk about prop? I struggle with my stop loss and TP. Any tip on how I can choose them? So with regard, so let me just get EU, for example. So if you were going to set your entry here, okay, you need to be, if you want to be conservative, go to the top of the wick. If you want to be tight, go to the top of the candle. But it's basically the last high. So we can go to here, we can go to here. If you're a bit nervous at the start, take your stop loss nice and big. There's no rule against it because a lot of people get stopped out. I get stopped out when I do this. Okay, so take your stop loss there. Now, in terms of targets, you've got the next low. So we want to just take price to this low here. Or, you know, on a higher time frame, try and identify so that target down there, if we can come down to there, that would be a 3 to 1. So when you get that move, this is trade, you want to be looking for a previous low for your target and your stop loss just above the high. Does that answer your question a little bit better? You wanted to talk about prop firms. So what do you want to know about prop firms? Or what do you want to talk about with them? So for my stop loss, I need to look at my IC and FUCAS. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And now it's up to you whether you want to use the wick or whether you want to use the body of the candle. That's the question you kind of need to ask yourself. What do you want to do? How tight do you want to be at it? US 30 yesterday. Oh, I haven't looked at US 30 in a while. Let's have a look at it. So I mean, look, US 30 does its own bloody thing, I tell you. US 30 yesterday. So this is today, yesterday. So it looks like actually US 30 was okay. Played in there. So swept London session. Where's the PM session? Oh, that's the weekend, isn't it? And then did we get anything in there? Not really. It's all about time and price, things like that. So maybe that entry there would have been okay. Because sometimes I take at the top of the imbalance. Not going to do more than, yeah, no, that wouldn't, yeah. So I wouldn't have probably taken anything here because it was getting quite late in the day. I don't like to trade past 4 o'clock. But yeah, it looked okay. It looked like we could, it looked like it was coming lower. But again, the thing is, it's just consolidation at this phase. Like we are coming lower slowly as of now. I mean, ideally, we come a little bit lower or we react in this area because we want to react in the imbalance. Maybe this is the area that we react in to go higher. If that makes sense. So that could be a point of interest. So guys, we've got a few of you in here today. Any questions at all? Anyone, how's everyone getting on with their trading? Anyone further along with funded accounts or looking to take funded accounts or anything like that? So I'm hoping tomorrow is going to be a better day for trading. The last couple of weeks have been a bit funny, really, with NFP and things like that. I do think the majors are going to carry on moving lower. So I will be looking for lower price action to see if we can target there. If the DXY does obviously get to there, I will reanalyze where I think this could potentially go, because we might react to the downside from there. And then, yeah, see essentially if we can target there. It's going well, focusing on discipline this week. That's amazing, Rachel. That's absolutely amazing. And, you know, for anyone here that doesn't know, Rachel is an absolutely outstanding trader. Okay, so whenever Rachel's talking in the Discord, she's definitely someone you can ask questions to and talk to and things like that. So you can, yeah, Rachel's on it. I'm taking things a lot slower, trying on a higher time frame. Yeah, and that's fine. You can like EU, you can take really good trades on there. Been spending more time going through the videos this week. Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. You know, and that's good. At like weeks like this, I would always say just refer to the education you've got. You've got plenty of education in this course, and there's so much you can do. You know, benefit from just going by and watching a video again. The amount of videos I've gone to and watched for like 3, 4, 5, 6 times, it's really quite incredible. Like how much you realize that you miss on certain things going back to it after. So yeah, I would definitely recommend watching those videos. They're there for you now. So is it best to take trades 1:30 p.m. after 1:30 for indices? So yeah, I mean, I like taking trades on the indices in the New York session, which essentially is between 2:30 UK time and 4 p.m. UK time. The reason being is because New York session are massive on indices. So in New York, obviously the volatility comes in because they're US predominant pairs. And what you tend to get is at 2:30 in particular is when the open is and you get a lot of movement. 1:30 is not really a great time to trade because usually you get a lot of economic news releases. So that's when the volatility kicks in. Just back testing on a demo for now for the XL from this. Yeah. Is that the 20 block trade challenge you're talking about? So I don't know how well I explained it in there. I'll have to go back and have a look, but I would do that in real time if I were you. I would do that in real time, and as long as it may take you a little bit longer, but I would do it. So like here, I'd be just setting so like the first one's about setting it just off a random order block, isn't it? So set that entry right there, just see what happens. And then essentially the next one is setting it with this here. I would generally do it in real time. Back testing's okay, but you've kind of got a bit of a hindsight. You got a bit of a hindsight because you kind of know where it's going to go and things like that. You want to try and do it that way. So like this would be like a trade for your order block, and then a trade for your order block and your imbalance kind of thing. And then obviously you can add in your fib levels and things like that. And then yeah, in my opinion, that if no one's done the 20, if someone here has not done the 20 block. Oh, you do? Oh, perfect. If someone here hasn't done the 20 block trade challenge, please go and do it. Please, you will transform into a different trader. If it didn't work for you as well, go back, watch the course again, do the 20 block trade challenge again. That was what I did myself. And honestly, it was such a game changer. It was such a game changer because you get yourself a record of about 100 odd trades. You pick up the data, you can see what you're winning. You're not supposed to win the first challenge. You're not supposed to win that many on the first challenge. That's the thing. You're supposed to lose more because you're only going off of institutional candles or FU candles. That's the only thing you're going for. But what is it teaching you? It's teaching you to look for institutional candles. It's teaching you to do that. It's teaching you to observe them. So like your institutional candle, if you'd have set off that random institutional candle for no reason other than the fact that it's just an institutional candle, you would have had a 1 to 3 on that. So Martin, to answer your question, there's an FU candle right there. So that's like it plays out. I wouldn't like you want the FU candle to have played out and then created your range, and then you want it to be coming back to an FU candle. So that would be an entry you could set for an FU candle. This is a trade for everything, but you could set it for FU candles as well. So yeah, I would honestly say, yeah, like by the end of that challenge, trust me, guys, you'll be so set. I just know you will. It's such a good challenge. It's probably one of the best things I've ever like done for this course. Generally, I think it's amazing, and I really do believe it's going to help you succeed. So yeah, if you haven't done it, do it. Okay, do it, especially if you're struggling. If you need to go and watch it again, watch it again. It's available to everyone on here. Do you place your trades on TradingView, or do you use something else? I'm still learning. Don't have a live account. No, so I placed my trades on MetaTrader 5. I am tempted to open up an account on. You can go on TradingView, and I am tempted to open up an account that uses TradingView, but I'm in the middle of kind of changing a few things over in my office at the moment, like PCs and things like that are changing. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do yet, but yeah, MetaTrader 5 I use. There's no real difference between MetaTrader 5, MetaTrader 4. So yeah. MT4's I don't analyze on MT4. It's important to know that, or MT5. It's just the broker who has MT4 or MT5. Most brokers give you MT4, MT5, and when you use it, you can place trades on it. It's an absolutely abysmal platform. Like, it's crap. I only use it specifically for entering trades. I honestly, it is crap. It really, really is. It's just so outdated. So outdated. Any questions? You're new? Okay, and how are you getting on? So the 20 block trade challenge is basically in at the end of one of the modules. So watch all the videos in the modules, and there's a lesson called the 20 block trade challenge. It explains everything in the video, but essentially it's you take 20 trades with like about 10 different times. So you end up taking about 200 odd trades or whatever. But you're only looking for certain things. Okay, you're only looking for certain things in that trade challenge. So the first train 20 trade challenge is off an order block or an FU candle. The next one is off a FU candle and an imbalance. The next one is off all three of those things, plus the fib levels, plus the trend, plus blah, 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 so on and so on and so on. It's really, really good. Enjoying the course, Tom. Just practicing. That's amazing. Keep it up, Ben. Keep it up. When's new modules coming out? So, John, I go away next week on Tuesday night. Before then, basically, before then, trust me, that's what I'm working towards. Is it crap to actually trade on TradingView? Is that no? Most most brokers don't have TradingView, and I think a lot of them that do have really crap spreads. So you can trade on TradingView. I think you just need like these brokers here, like FXCM is a broker that allows TradingView. Oanda is another one that you could trade on just on TradingView. So you can absolutely trade on TradingView. There's nothing necessarily stopping that. But yeah, I think it's just a bit of a thing. People trade on MT4. I've got an iPad I trade MT4 on, or it's a Surface Pro, but I trade on MT4 on that. So I've got monitors for all my analyzing. And also the thing is, if I'm setting an entry in here, well, I've got another monitor which shows me more stuff on TradingView. So, guys, any more questions at all before we wrap up this evening? Four monitors. I've got four monitors. I have had three for a long, long time, but I've just got a new system in which has four monitors, five if you include the Surface Pro where I actually do my trades. But what you've got to remember is with me, I'm also doing content and things like that. So like one of my screens is kind of dedicated to that. You could definitely get away with just 3, I think, or 2 even. But it really depends on how you're trading. I like to have multiple things in front of me. I think once you all progress into professional traders, you're going to naturally just have more monitors. I honestly 100% would not be trading on just your phone. I wouldn't trade on just your phone. One monitor is enough, but you really need to set yourself as much of an advantage as possible. So if I get up my EU saved chart here, you can have one monitor and do something like this. But overall, it's you can't see as much, especially it's all on 4 different monitors. You can see a lot more. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Okay. If you need anything in the meantime, please drop me a message on Discord. Put yourself in the chat. If you haven't as well, guys, I would love, because I'm giving away a free challenge now. The challenge was my Forex funds is of not going to be my Forex funds now. It's going to be another challenge firm. I don't know who at this moment in time, because I've always backed FTMO and my Forex funds. So I am waiting for after the 11th of September to see what happens with those firms. But I am going to be giving away a challenge. And all you have to do is go on the Discord and just do a few things. You have to write what your story is. I want to hear about you. I want to hear who you are. I want to hear why you're here. I want to hear your journey as a trader. I want to get to know you because, we're all like-minded individuals. We find ourselves in the same Discord, in the same community. Let's get to know each other. Let's make the most of it. Let's be there to help each other. It's not a massive community. We've only been going for, I started this community in January. It's a very young community. There's not a lot of people in it compared to some where you've got like thousands of people in these communities. There's only like 100 odd people in here. So we've got enough of a platform in here, but bear in mind, not everyone speaks. Put it in. I can put I will 100% put my story in. Definitely. I'll put my story in as well. 100%. I will put it in. The name of the broker I use is IC Markets. Rachel's posting hers tonight. There we go. Perfect. Look forward to that. But everyone here, post your story. I know some of you have posted stories and they're amazing, but let's get some of these stories posted, guys. I just want to see who you are. That's all it is. And you could win a challenge for doing that. So there's a couple of things you got to do. You can read in the announcement section about it. You could win a challenge. What about that? So, guys, I will love you and leave you. If you need anything, let me know. In the meantime, I think we're back on tomorrow for New York session. Yep, New York session tomorrow. So, yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Take care, guys.